Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Podcast. Sunday, 5 games, coming off a weird Saturday. Let's just get right into it because honestly, I'm really already looking at Monday and how many games we have on MLK Day in the NBA, to be honest with you. But I had only 2 bets because Mo Wagner, I couldn't get any props for. I was looking, maybe some of you got some of him like right before the tip or live bet him or whatever, but I can't even put him in here as recorded because I couldn't get anything for him. Cowards is what they are. But anyways, SGA, a last minute in the fourth quarter there, got a couple rebounds and assists, and that put us over, which was really annoying because we were on our way to a little mini sweep until that point. Because Dario was, I don't want to call him a lock because there's no such things as locks, but Dario felt really, really good. Even after Steph was ruled out, I hope you all were following along on social as well on the comments of the video from yesterday so that you could see that I was still good with Dario 16.5 points and assists as well, which he got 18. So got over that number also. Hopefully you hit it early when you saw the video before the Steph news and you got 13.5 and got completely sweat free on his points and assists in that one as he got it in the third quarter. So we will roll along here. 1-1, like I said, minus 0.1 units. Whatever. We moved past Saturday. It was really weird. We still stayed away from the sides in total. So that was a success because we managed to stay another day sober from those things. Let's move on to best bet number 1 here. It's an under for one of the faces of the league, we'll call him, Anthony Edwards. And Ant is not going to get 28 points, though, in my opinion. He is questionable. I think he plays. I don't see him missing games against this Clippers team if he can help it. I know he has a sore calf, I think, is what it is, something on his leg. But we'll see if he can make it out there. We still get a good price on his under if he can play at all. That would be awesome. 1.2 units. I like it so much for him to go under 27.5. And that's minus 120 on PointsBet. And you can also get minus 120. I don't know if you can get it anywhere else. Minus 125 is available. But there are already some 26.5s as well. So hopefully you see this in time to get 27.5 on Ant and go under that number. But 26.5 might also be playable for him. He hasn't really come close to that against this team, except for the games where Kawhi and PG aren't playing. And that's really what this is about. It's not just that Kawhi and PG are playing and they form probably the best wing defense duo in the league still to this day when they're actually trying, especially the 2023-24 iteration of this Clippers team, which has been an incredible defensive team, slowing it down, fewer points. We know all that kind of stuff. So with Ant, it's really just tough because they throw everybody at him. In the last game that they played last season against Ant, they threw PG, Kawhi, and Russ. Those are the 3 dudes that guarded him with a little bit of, maybe Norm Powell as well, right? But like, as far as the like primary defenders on Ant, we're talking about those 3 dudes. And PG and Kawhi I just told you about, even Russ, when he's going all out, is at least an athletic enough matchup for Ant Edwards. And it's not something that is fun when Russ is really bringing it on defense. He's going to be pounding you, probably fouling you, etc. So with the way that this game should be slower and choppier in general, both these teams are going to play really good defense against each other, especially in Minnesota. And I will say, Ant does way better in Minnesota. It's crazy, actually, how good of a player he is, yet how much better his points are at home. 28 points per game at home, which obviously gets you over this number. But the 23 that he scores on the road is really noticeable. This game is in Minnesota, so obviously he's more likely to score more points, according to at least what he has done so far this season. I still don't like that. If he's got to get 28 and that's what he's averaging, and now we're talking about one of the best defenses in the league on the wing, especially just where he's playing and at guarding his style of play, then I'm going to feel good about it. Vika Zubac, I will also add, is currently limiting players to a 49% field goal percentage at the rim. Like, that's Rudy stuff, right, for the T-Wolves over here. But Zoo is doing that for the Clippers right now. So even when Ant's going to the basket, he's going to be really hard-pressed to get easy buckets. So we're going to go under 28 points for him. Then we're going to look at James Harden. And this is so fishy, man. I hate it. I don't have much else right now, and I have other stuff I got to do. I'm not going to lie to you guys. So I at least wanted to get a third bet in here. So I've got James Harden 0.5. That should have a plus 100 on DK sign next to it as well, because you can get that for even money, because it's fishy, because they want us to take it, because it's such good juice, and because he's done this in 9 of his last 10, and a lot of people are beholden to these recency stats, right? But you know me, I'm a rebound chances and potential assist guy. I want to know about the volume. I want to know if the opportunities are there. And this is still a dude with 15.5 potential assists over those last 10 games. And really, that's what he's averaging since he came to this team, minus the first couple games where they were all just figuring each other out, right? There's not much precedence for this exact matchup because we haven't seen Harden on the Clippers versus this team. In fact, We haven't even seen Harden versus the Timberwolves since 2022 in 2 seasons ago when he was with the 76ers, right? In the only game he played with them. And he got over that. Like, he's gone over against this team consistently on Brooklyn, on Philly, and now on this team. It's certainly on Houston, but that was different times, obviously. So it's not like it's that easy to just look at it and go, well, I mean, last year, at least they had Rudy, and you still saw him go over with Philly. So, well, 2 seasons ago now, but it was the beginning of 2022. So at any rate, I still think that the precedent, while it's not there for this exact scenario, like, he's a good example of a guy that can at least like create, like, he sort of transcends, right, the assist game. No matter how good teams are at limiting assists, which Minnesota is, they're one of the best defenses in general, and then you put them at home and they are maybe the best defense at home in the league. So like, this is not going to be an easy matchup, and there's not going to be a ton of points, but this is what James Harden is looking to do now, right? This is something that we can depend upon with the potential assists. If those are going to be there, and he has his full arsenal of weapons in terms of PG playing, Kawhi playing, Norm Powell playing, everybody's in, then like, let's go for it with him. This is a sort of a joking stat, but the one point guard to actually get this number in the last month against this, or the last 3 weeks against this team, is Jalen Brunson. And he's also a lefty. So I don't know what you want to do with that. Maybe lefty point guards have some success against the Timberwolves. Don't read into that much. That's why the LOL is there. But I still do want at least half a unit sprinkled for James Harden against this team to keep getting dimes, man, because he's a 9-dime guy right now. So Jaime Jaquez Jr. thought about 0.75, and I went for a full unit on him. So I've got a full unit. That should also say plus 100 on DK, not plus 10. That makes no sense. It is an even money bet for him to get 24 points, rebounds, and assists in this one. And another one that I'm just going to have to get a part of. I really want to get in on the Jaime stuff because nobody's freaking playing in this game. Maybe Kevin Love will play. He's questionable. Tyler Hero is questionable. Caleb Martin's going to play, but obviously still no Jimmy. We are going to have some Kyle Lowry in there, but like just everybody. Haywood Highsmith. There's not going to be everybody playing for the Heat. And in this scenario, when you're missing at least 2 to 3 guys, you're going to get Jaime Jaquez playing 35 to 37 minutes because Eric Spoelstra loves him, and he just is going to keep him in there because he knows he's got a guy who can do a little bit of everything. And a really good indication that he can do a little bit of everything is the only guy who takes away from Jaime Jaquez's numbers when he's in the lineup is Jimmy Butler, right? His Jaime Jaquez numbers, when you look at him with and without Tyler Hero, with and without Bam Adebayo, with and without Caleb Martin, with and without Kevin Love, any of the guys that you think might take away from Jaime Jaquez's stats, when he's in with them, he's the same dude. When he's in with Jimmy Butler, everything drops, right? When Jimmy's in the game, he takes away from Jaime Jaquez because guess what? Jaime's in the Jimmy Butler role. And my guy Prop Bomb has talked about this consistently, which is Jaime Jaquez and Jimmy Butler can't play in the starting lineup together because they do the same shit. And that's just proof of in the stats and proof of the on-off stuff. With and without Jimmy Butler, Jaime Jaquez is a different player because there's no room for him to do the same stuff Jimmy's already doing, right? That's why in 9 of the 14 without Jimmy, he's gone over the 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I will say I thought about just the rebounds and assists because points at 16.5 is kind of high for Jaime, but at the same time, it's even further proof that when Jimmy's not in there, he's the Jimmy guy because he gets more points with and without Jimmy on the floor. The points, rebounds, and assists, he's gone over 9 of 14 without Jimmy. The rebounds and assists, he's gone over 8 of 14 without Jimmy. And I'm really like nitpicking here, but really like the points are there, the volume are there. 16 shots per game are there, right? So that's why you really like him to continue to get points on top of the rebounds and assists alone. But as far as the rebounds and assists go, he's 3rd on the team in the last 5 games with potential assists and rebound chances. And that's going to be what we see in this game is some iteration of no Kevin Love, no Haywood Highsmith, definitely no Jimmy, maybe no Tyler. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's just going to be a combination of at least 2, maybe 3 Heat players that are not going to play against the Charlotte Hornets team on Sunday. So you're going to get more and more usage for Jaime in all facets of the game. Like I said, everyone's not playing here. Even for Charlotte, I considered some stuff. It's just LaMelo's back. I don't know what Terry Rozier is going to do. I do think Miles Bridges is a good bet because Gordon Hayward's out of this game. PJ Washington's out of this game. I can't think of players who are in this game besides Nick Richards, Mark Williams. Mark Williams is out, excuse me. And like basically Miles Bridges, LaMelo, and Terry Rozier. Those 3 dudes are going to be doing the bulk of the scoring. There's no Gordon Hayward if I didn't mention that. So like those are the only 3 dudes scoring. It's just they're all really high. They're all like 23.5 points. Miles Bridges you might want to take a 21.5, but the only thing I could find that I felt comfortable giving you guys in this game is Jaime Jaquez Jr. Even Bam is at 24.5 points, 11.5 boards. I actually would take the assist for Bam maybe at 4.5, but it's all just so high, and I don't really know what to expect in that game just yet. So while I can at least get this video out to you, I want to get you the Jaime Jaquez bet. So I went a full unit on it on that one. The best bet summary here, as that's all the time we have for you in this one. Let me go ahead and just look at that. So that has everything accurate. Boom, there we go. Ant Edwards, minus 120 on points bet for him to get under 27.5 points, 1.2 units, because I want to get the full unit back, right? If I put 1.2 units down on a minus 120 bet, I get an even unit back if that hits. Cool. James Harden, over 8.5 assists, super fish, super noob. I totally get it. I'm still going for it because it's James Harden. So half a unit for him to get the 9 dimes for even money. They're going to reel me in, and I'm just going to come in hook, line, and sinker and just try to get it. So Jaime Jaquez Jr., over 23.5 PRA, a little bit fishy as well. Anytime you see these even money bets from DraftKings on a core line, what I mean by that is a core line is just not like an alt line, right, where you can take an alternate. This is the actual bet they're giving you at 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists. When it's even money, meaning plus 100, right, you get the same amount of money back that you bet. A little bit fishy to me when that's the case. So we'll see how this one plays out, but I'm going with a full unit on Jaime because the usage should be there. And I didn't want to go for just the rebounds and assists. If he gets 8 rebounds and assists and like 15 points, I'm going to be pissed, obviously, because then I should have just taken the RA. And if you want to hit the RA, that's also even money. But he does score without Jimmy Butler, so I'm going to put him back in the Jimmy Butler role and assume that he's going to get the points alongside of all this. All right? We're going to be coming back with a much bigger slate on Monday here. All right? So that's why we're only putting 2.5 units down on Sunday, because we don't need to go too crazy before we have games starting at like 10 a.m. on the West Coast out here. So 1 p.m. You got an East Coast game starting at 1 p.m. tomorrow on Monday. So I'm going to get a video out tonight on Sunday night so I can get those early games out to you guys well in advance. Then coming back, doing the usual 11 a.m. or so on the West Coast over here, 2 p.m. on the East Coast. I'm going to look to get that second one out for you for the later round of games. So you have at least 2 to 3 hours to check that out before those games start, right? So please do continue to follow along. Subscribe to the page. It's much appreciated. We're going to keep bringing you these things each and every day. Only missed one day in like the last month of basketball because I'm committed to this shit and we're having fun together. So jump in the comments. Let me know what's up as well. You know I'm always appreciative, even if you have shit to talk. Let's talk it. Let's hash it out, and let's learn, hopefully, from what we might have messed up at times. You know what I mean? So we'll continue to do this stuff together, y'all. And until I see you next, happy betting.